Hello, welcome back to another video on my channel. Now I thought, seeing as I did so well with my Premier League predictions last year, we're going to go from 20th all the way to the top, starting with Sheffield United. Nice club, nice city, nice fans, nice kit. No chance. In 10th position, Crystal Palace. It was my first time last year, okay, and I thought, you know what, I can't do any worse this year, so I'm going to go for it again. And these are my Premier League predictions for the 2020-21 season. Now, I've left my prediction video until the very last minute, because I see a lot of videos going up 2 or 3 weeks before the start of the season, and I always think that's very weird, because there's still loads of transfers to be done before the season starts. Well, actually, this year the window ends in October, doesn't it? So, well, that ruins that theory. But anyway, let's crack on with my Premier League predictions. Before we do that, last week the 92 English clubs in one song went up, which I know for a lot of you means the season can officially start, and I always get a little bump of subscribers when that goes up. So if you are new here, thank you very much for subscribing and welcome. I hope you enjoyed this video and plenty more that are in my back catalogue. And if you are brand new here and this is the first video you've watched, welcome. Please subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment, do all that usual YouTuber nonsense, and welcome aboard. And of course, I'm wearing my brand new merch, Do Not Call the Forest Not tees, which are also available as hoodies, sweatshirts, bibs, mugs, you name it, I've got it. And of course, the brand new Where the Hell is Fleetwood merch available on all those different products as well. There's a link below the video. I get a small cut from every sale, so if you do buy some, you'll be helping support this channel, which I'd really appreciate. Right, let's get on with the predictions for the 2020-21 Premier League season. Right, enough waffle, Jim. Let's get on with my prediction for the 2020-21 Premier League season. I've got my table here. We're going to go from 20th to 1st, starting in 20th with Fulham. To quote my favourite Green Day song, nice guys finish last. And apart from Alexander Mitrovic, who spends most of his Saturdays trying to elbow opposition players in the face, Fulham are a very, very nice club. Scott Parker is a very nice guy and probably a bit inexperienced when it comes to managing in the Premier League, but could also turn his hand as being the new singer in the streets.
By the time you get to Saturday night and you're drinking a beer or having a little bit of Chinese, you're all of a sudden thinking about Monday morning and what the next game is.
The rest of the team isn't really packed with enough Premier League quality for me. Tom Cairney seems very nice and has very nice hair. The fans are nice, the stadium's nice, the club is just too nice. Sorry, 20th. In 19th place, West Brom. Now, if Premier League places were done on the kits the teams are wearing, then these guys would be rock bottom. And yes, I am going to do a video on Premier League kits coming soon. Although they do, for me, gain a few extra points for having a mascot that is literally a man dressed as a boiler. They have turned Pereira's loan spell permanent, who was good for them last season, and he could be key for them staying up. But unfortunately, I have brought him into my fantasy team, so that means that he is undoubtedly going to bomb this season. And their other signings, Diangana, Kipre, Button, are all undisclosed, which means that West Brom do love keeping secrets. And here's a secret for you, you're going down. In 18th place, West Ham. Some things in the Premier League are just inevitable. Benteke missing open goals, Matt Le Tissier sending tweets that make absolutely no sense. And this season, finally, West Ham getting relegated. They've been flirting with relegation for ages, like Chunks and Maya. See, I do my research in these videos sometimes. And they are a club in complete crisis. Their club captain literally called their owners clowns the other day in a roundabout way. They've sold their best academy player to a literal relegation rival. And they have Arsenal, Wolves, Leicester, Spurs, City and Liverpool in their first few games. Moyes gone by November, Noble as player manager by December, and the fans on the pitch by the new year. That's my prediction. In 17th place, Aston Villa. Now, Villa's secret to staying up last season was simple: conceding a goal that literally doesn't count. And the extra point they earned from that draw against Sheffield United literally kept them in the Premier League. Simple when you think about it. If Dean Smith can just find a way to tamper with the goal line technology again this season, then I think Villa will be fine. Assuming they can't do that, then I think they might struggle and possibly go down. Much will be down to captain Jack Grealish again and his ability to drive the team forward, although as we saw during lockdown, Jack Grealish and driving, it's not really his forte. They have spent big money on a striker, which they desperately needed, Ollie Watkins from Brentford, and if he can make the step up, then I think they'll be okay, but if he can't, then they might struggle, but I see them just about staying up. In 16th place, Burnley. Now I feel about Burnley the same way that I feel about the Liberal Democrats. I've got nothing against them. I really have no opinion on them either way, and I don't know who many of them are. Plus, Burnley's arrivals this summer look more like a League One team and not a Premier League team going for mid-table. A few injuries to the ones that I have heard of, like Chris Wood and Nick Pope, and I think that they actually might struggle this season big time. But with Sean Dyche in charge, they probably should be able to overcome any obstacle and just about stay up, but I don't think it's going to be as fruitful as previous seasons for the Clarets. And also, while we're at it, why haven't Burnley produced club handbags, man bags and bum bags in their club shop? That's an easy one. You can have that one for free, guys. In 15th place, Brighton. Now, nothing would make me happier than seeing Brighton get relegated from the Premier League. But even the most ardent of Crystal Palace fans, me, has to put some respect on Brighton's name for the last couple of seasons. They have done pretty well. Ugh, it feels quite dirty saying that. I mean, they haven't done well enough to finish above us in the table yet, but at least they know their place. Now this season they've weirdly sold Aaron Moy, who's gone to China, but they have replaced him with Adam Lallana, who's an excellent signing. And in Graham Potter, they do have a good manager. So I think they'll do okay this season, Brighton. Although I really hope they don't. In 14th place, the world's greatest team, Crystal Palace. Right, here we go. Now last season I was hammered, quite rightly by many of you, for predicting Palace would finish 10th and above Wolves in the table. And I just want to address you all and say, I'm very, very sorry. That was a terrible prediction. This season I'm going to be a bit more measured with my prediction for Palace, although I have seen some people predicting us to finish 17th and 18th, and I can only presume that those have been written by Brighton fans. Or, more realistically, that they've been written before we've signed Eze from QPR and Michy Batshuayi on loan from Chelsea. Those guys are going to really help with our goal scoring problems that we had last season, and I think as a result of them arriving, we're going to do okay. I'm not saying it's going to be 10th like last year, but I think we will comfortably finish in mid-season, especially if we keep the OG himself, Roy Hodgson, as manager. 14th, sounds about fair. In 13th place, Newcastle. Now Newcastle's approach to this season seems to be to try and turn into the Bournemouth of the North. They've signed Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser from Bournemouth. I mean, they already have black stripes and they're probably going to finish roughly in mid-table, which is where Bournemouth would have liked to finish last season if they hadn't gone down. I wouldn't actually be surprised if Steve Bruce is sacked halfway through the season and Eddie Howe replaces him as manager. That would just leave them to replace their white stripes to red and relocate to the south coast to really fulfil their wishes. Alan St-Maximin, who I'm a massive fan of, will be key to them doing well this season. And with no supporters in stadiums, it does mean that none of their fans will get hit in the privates with a corner flag, so that's a massive plus for them this season. In 12th place, Leeds United. Leeds have two things going for them this season since going up. One, a good defence. We saw last season with Sheffield United that having a good defence is key to surviving in the Premier League, almost more important than having a good attack. And Leeds had the best defensive record in the Championship last season, and I think that is one of the reasons that they will do well this season. The second is Marco Bielsa. Their charismatic coach, who has recently signed a new contract, I think will be absolutely key to them doing well in the Premier League this season, and I can't wait to see him on Match of the Day. How can you not love a manager who sits on a bucket during the game on the touchline? I think I'm already in love with him. For me, Leeds will be fine and they'll finish 12th. In 11th position, Sheffield United. Now I was one of many YouTubers last season who predicted Sheffield United to finish bottom of the Premier League and was rightly trolled heavily on social media as a result. And I just want to apologise to Blades fans right now. We massively underestimated your team last season and Chris Wilder and his weird, out there, crazy system. There's overlapping, marauding centre-backs or whatever it is he does. I'm still not even sure, but it clearly works. They haven't tinkered too much with their team this season, although they have replaced Dean Henderson, who's gone back to Man United, with Aaron Ramsdale from Bournemouth, which I think is a very, very smart move. I mean, they were a bit of a mess during lockdown, but I mean, well, weren't we all? Let's be honest. And barring any serious injuries or their squad all getting COVID, then I think they're going to be absolutely fine this season and comfortably finish 11th. In 10th place, Southampton. Now the Saints are my dark horses tip for this season. Although hang on, wait, 10th isn't really a dark horse, is it? More of a kind of shadowy mare. Shadowy Mare is a great name for a band actually, I need to note that one down. They were brilliant during lockdown, and any team that is smashed 9-0 and then recovers to actually have better form than the team that beat them 9-0 earlier in the season deserves massive respect. If they can keep Danny Ings fit up front, who seems to be able to score against pretty much anyone in the Premier League, then they will do very well. And I really like Ralph Hasenhüttl as manager, and yes, I have learnt to say his name properly this time. And even though James Ward-Prowse is easily the most unlikable player in the Premier League, I have to admit, he is also quite good. The Saints have got a good squad and they're on good form. I think they're going to finish top 10. In 9th place, Leicester. Now, I might be being a bit harsh on Leicester this season because 9th is a big jump down from 5th where they finished last season. And they were brilliant up until lockdown where they really did fall apart. Now, the reason I've got them into 9th is because they've got European football to contend with again. And the last time that happened, they nearly got relegated and sacked their manager halfway through the season. So the form book isn't good for the Foxes in that regard. They've lost Ben Chilwell to Chelsea, of course, but they do still have James Maddison, and Vardy, who was top scorer last season, continues to bag the goals in. He is getting on a little bit, but as a man in my 30s, I know that you can still perform. Well, I can't, but he can, and if he does continue to bang the goals in, then I think Leicester will be okay, but I don't think they're going to hit the heights of last season. But 9th, I think, is a respectable finish for them. In 8th place, Wolves. Now, Wolves have been brilliant since coming up 2 years ago, and for the last 2 seasons, they finished 7th and then 7th again. So it only seems logical to predict that this season they will finish 8th. I never said my predictions made sense, guys. Now, the only reason I've got them finishing one place below the last 2 seasons is they've lost Matt Doherty to Spurs, and he was instrumental in so many of their goals last season and had a real connection with Raul Jimenez up front. It sounds like they're going to put Traore potentially at right wing back, which would be very interesting. It could be fantastic or a complete disaster. And Vinagre, the Portuguese lad they've got at left back, does sound very good as well. They have signed more Portuguese players during this transfer window, of course, pretty much meaning by 2030 all Portuguese people will play for Wolves. But it's a tactic that's worked for them very well so far. They do have a terrible away kit, again which I'll come on to on another video, but I won't hold that against them. In 7th place, Everton. Everton had a terrible season last season and finished 12th, which by their high standards is pretty awful, and that's probably why they've really gone for it in the transfer window this summer. They've already spent £60 million in the transfer window so far, and the star of their arrivals is James Rodriguez from Bayern, who could be absolutely fantastic in the Premier League this season and will have headline writers already upping their game. Abdoulaye Doucouré is also a very, very smart signing from Watford, a player that I've always really liked and has experience in the Premier League. And I think Everton will do better than last season. I mean, they can't do any worse, surely. I've got them rising like Carlo Ancelotti's eyebrows from 12th to 7th place this season. Into the top 6 now, and to be honest, you could flip a coin between Arsenal and Spurs for 5th and 6th, but for 6th, I'm going for Spurs. And the main reason being, I think it will make the next series of All or Nothing absolutely fantastic. It's already my favourite show on TV. It's just so great getting that inside knowledge to know that Harry Kane's team talks are just like Sunday League, and Jose Mourinho swears every other word. They've signed Matt Doherty from Spurs, who I think is an excellent signing, and I'm really excited to see him link up with Harry Kane. But for me, it's the players like Dele Alli, Lucas Moura, Heung-min Son. If they do well, then Spurs could probably break into top 4, but if they have dodgy patches, which they can do, I think that 6th will be their limit this season. Still, the next series of All or Nothing is going to be amazing. So that means Arsenal are 5th in my Premier League predictions. Now, Arsenal are of course the only club to really push West Ham for the title of Circus FC, but they've been really, really good during lockdown, and it does seem like Mikel Arteta's thoughts and processes are starting to have an effect on the Arsenal team. I mean, even David Luiz looked okay after those couple of mad games. They've been very shrewd in the transfer market this summer. Willian is a fantastic signing, and if the likes of Gabriel settle, then their squad is shaping up nicely. I mean, it's shaping up better than Aubameyang's hair, which, let's face it, isn't that difficult. He's key again, obviously, and if he continues to score goals and the likes of Saka and Nketiah continue to improve, I think it could be a good season for Arsenal, but I do think 5th is their limit. Right, into the top 4, and at 4th place, I've got Man United. Now, this is one place lower than they finished last season after a brilliant lockdown form, but for me, them and Chelsea are pretty much interchangeable. Their lockdown form was fantastic, mainly due to their front 4 of Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford and Marcus Greenwood. Just kidding, Mason Greenwood. Did that one on purpose. If they hit the ground running, then I actually think they may even be title contenders, but I don't think their defence is really good enough to sustain a title challenge over the season. And David De Gea is having a very weird time in goal at the moment. He may even be replaced by Dean Henderson in nets. But if they can sort out that defence, I think they've got enough goods going forward to be a very, very good team this season. And Donny van de Beek, their main summer signing this summer, does look very good as well, and I'll be very keen to see how he slots into midfield, although he does sound more like a character for an American teen drama series on Netflix. Regardless, I've got them in fourth. So that means in third place, Chelsea. Now Chelsea and Man United, for me, as I said, are interchangeable, and it's a flip of a coin really to see who finishes third or fourth between them. There's actually quite a lot of similarities between their teams. They're two teams that both have great attacking options, dodgy defences, and are managed by former club legends who are quite inexperienced at being managers. So Chelsea have done this season basically what I used to do in Football Manager, where I'd use the cheat to edit the amount of money I've got at the start of the season, give myself untold millions, and then just buy everyone on the game and be successful that way. And to be honest, it's probably going to work for them. We've seen from Man City and Liverpool that that's pretty much the way to be successful in the Premier League, and Chelsea have thought, you know what, fine, we'll do the same thing. They've made some fantastic signings this summer. I think Timo Werner is the one I'm most excited about, although Ben Chilwell was also an excellent signing from Leicester, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them hitting the ground running, Werner scoring goals, and Lampard continuing to tell other managers to f*** off on the touchline. Into the top two, and I really can't decide between top two. They really are a flip of a coin. I think I'm going to go with, in second place, Liverpool. No, wait, City. No, Liverpool. No, I'm going to go City. Liverpool, City, Liverpool. Make your mind up, Jim. I'm going to go, in second place, Liverpool. It's so rare for teams to retain the Premier League title, and I really think City took last season personally and will come back this season with a vengeance, much like Die Hard 3. Liverpool haven't really spent a lot this season, just the one main signing incoming, and they have lost a few of their squad, but we already know that their squad is well equipped to deal with domestic and European football, so they're obviously going to be up there this season challenging again. Although the big change this summer is Mo Salah having a haircut, so if he flops and Liverpool struggle this season, we know exactly what the problem is. Either way, I expect them to be up there, continue to score goals, get loads of points, but I think they will just miss out on the title. Which means champions this season, for me, is Man City. Although, as I said, it really is a flip of the coin between Liverpool and Man City for me this season. As a result of losing out to Liverpool last season, City have really gone for it in the transfer market this summer, and with the likes of Phil Foden ready to take over from David Silva, they have a squad that is primed to take the Premier League title. Although I know the Champions League is the one they'll be definitely going for as well, the elusive Champions League, that's what they want, but I think they'll go for it and get the title. I also expect to see Pep unveil a snazzy new outfit on the touchline, and I really do think we're going to see the best of City this season, and that's why I've got them down to be champions. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Comment below with your prediction, your 1 to 20 for the Premier League this season. I personally can't wait to be trolled on social media when it turns out Chelsea win the title and Everton are relegated. Bye!